The massive alien ship hung in space like a silver leaf. Inside, Captain Relte of the Galactic Council rubbed his delicate blue hands together. His crew was finishing their standard exploration route of this sector. It had been a boring trip as usual. That was about to change. "Captain," unknown ship detected. The sensor officer's high-pitched voice cracked with excitement. Relte floated to the main screen. The ship was ugly by galactic standards, all sharp angles and metal plates. It looked primitive, but its size matched their own explorer vessel. "Open communications," he ordered. The screen lit up, and Relte fell back in shock. The alien looking back at him stood straight in what should have been crushing gravity. Its skin wasn't protected by a standard atmosphere suit. Instead, it wore a simple uniform with some markings. "This is Captain Songmin of the Earth ship Discovery. We come in peace." The alien's voice was calm and clear. Relte checked his sensors again. That part of the ship was running at Class 12 conditions, enough gravity, radiation, and atmospheric pressure to kill most species in minutes. Yet these aliens seemed comfortable. How are you surviving in there?" Relte couldn't help asking. Captain Song Min looked confused. "Our ship is running on Earth normal conditions. Are you having trouble with your readings?" The science officer, Vertel, rushed to Relte's side. "Captain, I've analyzed their biological signs. They're Deathworlders. Their home planet must be at Class 12. The bridge went silent. Class 12 planets were hell worlds where even automated probes failed quickly. The idea that intelligent life could evolve there was impossible. But the proof stood before them, looking perfectly relaxed. "We would like to establish diplomatic relations," Songmin continued. "Our scientists have been eager to meet other civilizations." Relte tried to hide his trembling. These creatures had developed space travel while living in conditions that would destroy most species. What else were they capable of? "Perhaps," Songmin added, noticing their fear, "we could meet on your ship. We can adjust to lower gravity and pressure. We're very adaptable." The casual way he offered to survive in an alien environment stunned Relte. His own species could barely handle a 10% change in their normal conditions. Yes, of course," Relte agreed quickly. "Though we should warn you, our ship's conditions might feel very weak to you." Songmin smiled. "Don't worry. We've trained for this. Our team will match your environment." An hour later, Relte watched in amazement as 5 humans walked onto his ship. They moved carefully in the low gravity, but showed no signs of distress. The ship's doctor hovered nearby, certain they would collapse. They didn't. "The air's a bit thin," Songmin commented, "but it's like being in the mountains back home. We can manage." "Mountains?" Vertel asked. "Yes, places on Earth where the air gets thinner. Many of us climb them for fun." The alien stared at him. "They survived in deadly conditions, for fun. But how did your species even develop intelligence?" Vertel burst out. "The radiation alone on a Class 12 world. We evolved with it," Songmin explained. "Our bodies repair radiation damage. We need some gravity to stay healthy. As for the rest," he shrugged, "Earth has many challenges. We learn to deal with them." Relte looked at these impossible beings with new eyes. His people had always pitied species from harsh worlds. Now he realized they weren't weaker. They were stronger. The humans had documents ready, trade agreements, cultural exchange proposals, and scientific cooperation offers. They were organized, peaceful, and eager to join the galactic community. They were also, Relte now understood, going to change everything. As Songmin's team shared their first meal with the alien crew, Relte sent an urgent message to the Galactic Council. "First contact established with Class 12 species. They are civilized, advanced, and stronger than we could have imagined. The galaxy will never be the same." He watched Songmin carefully sip the alien drink, testing it with a device to ensure it was safe. Even their caution showed their survival instincts. These humans were warriors, scientists, and diplomats all in one. The age of the Deathworlders had begun. The Galactic Council's main chamber was large enough to fit 50 Earth ships. Ambassador Jaiho stood calmly at the speaker's platform, though inside his heart was racing. 300 alien species watched him from their environmental bubbles, each one adapted to their homeworld's conditions. The humans request a permanent embassy, the council leader announced. His voice shook slightly. Are there any objections? The chamber erupted in scared whispers. A tall, thin alien stood up. How can we allow Deathworlders to have an embassy? Their very presence is a danger to us all. Jaiho waited for the translation, then spoke clearly. We understand your concerns. That's why we've brought our own environmental systems. We can adjust to your standard conditions. Adjust, another alien called out. You claim you can simply adjust to different worlds. Yes, Jaiho said. Humans are adaptable. We've already proved this during our first contact with Captain Relte's ship. The memory of that meeting had spread across the galaxy. Some called it a trick. Others called it a warning. An alarm suddenly blared through the chamber. Red lights flashed. Life support failure, a voice announced. Main systems down. Backup systems failing. Panic broke out. Many species needed their exact environmental conditions to survive. Without the chamber systems, they had minutes at most. Jaiho acted fast. He grabbed his communicator. This is Ambassador Jaiho. Human emergency team, deploy now. The doors burst open. 20 humans in simple work clothes ran in, carrying equipment. They had trained for this. Section 1. Seal those cracks. Jaiho ordered. Section 2. Get emergency power to the environmental bubbles. Section 3. Help any species showing distress. The humans moved quickly in what other species considered a deadly atmosphere. They lifted heavy equipment that would normally need machines. They worked in the growing heat without protection. A small alien child fell from its bubble. Without thinking, Jaiho ran and caught it. The child's mother screamed, thinking the human would crush her baby. Instead, Jaiho gently placed the child back in its environmental field. How? The mother asked. Your strength. You could have killed. We're used to higher gravity, Jaiho explained. It gives us fine control over our muscles. We would never harm a child. Within 30 minutes, the humans had stabilized the situation. The chamber systems came back online. Not a single alien had died. The council leader approached Jaiho, floating in his bubble. In all my years, I've never seen anything like this. Your people worked in conditions that would kill most species. You saved many lives today. It's what humans do, Jaiho said simply. We protect those who need help. But why? Asked the thin alien who had objected earlier. We feared you. We insulted you. Yet you risked yourselves for us. Jaiho smiled. Because that's how Earth taught us to survive. Not by being the strongest, but by helping each other. Yes, we can endure harsh conditions, but our real strength is working together. The council chamber was quiet now. The aliens looked at the humans with new eyes. These Deathworlders had proved themselves not through violence, but through protection. I call for an immediate vote, the council leader announced, on granting Earth a permanent embassy with full diplomatic status. The vote was unanimous. Later that day, Jaiho stood in the new Earth embassy. The humans had built it themselves, adding safe areas where other species could visit without fear. The walls were decorated with pictures of Earth, its oceans, mountains, and cities. Maybe now they'll understand, he said to his team. Earth isn't just a death world. It's a world that taught us to be strong so we could help others. Outside the embassy, a line of aliens waited to meet these strange creatures who could survive anywhere and chose to use that power to protect. The story of the embassy rescue spread across the galaxy. The Deathworlders had shown their true nature. They were not monsters to be feared, but guardians to be welcomed. Change was coming to the galaxy, one rescued alien at a time. The message played on every screen in the Earth Embassy. The alien on the screen, a Velari with silver scales and sharp teeth, smiled coldly. "We challenge Earth to prove its worth," he said. "Send your best warrior to compete in the great trials. 5 planets, 5 tests, no environmental suits allowed." Hanul watched the message from the embassy's training room. She had been Earth's top survival specialist for 10 years. Now all eyes turned to her. "You can't accept," Ambassador Jaiho said. "The Velari picked the worst planets in the galaxy. Even their champions died there." Hanul picked up a small weight and lifted it easily in the embassy's low gravity. "That's why I must go. They think these worlds will kill us. They don't understand what Earth taught us. The first planet was an ice world. The temperature was -200 degrees. The Velari champion wore a thin heating suit, the only protection allowed. Hanul walked out in special clothes made on Earth, the kind mountain climbers used. "You'll freeze in seconds," the Velari champion shouted. "I grew up in the coldest part of Earth," Hanul replied. "This is cold, but we've survived worse." The challenge was to reach a flag 10 miles away. The Velari champion's heating suit failed halfway. Hanul carried him back, then went on to get the flag. The second planet was all acid rain and lightning. The other aliens watched in shock as Hanul ran through the storms. "Earth has places like this," she explained later. "We call them thunderstorms. The acid rain is new, but we adapt." The third planet had 3 times Earth's gravity. The alien champions could barely move. Hanul did 10 push-ups to warm up. "Impossible," the Velari leader shouted. "No one can be this strong." "We grew up in strong gravity," Hanul said. "Our bones and muscles adapted. Evolution made us tough." The fourth planet had almost no air. Most aliens needed special breathing tanks. Hanul used breathing techniques that mountain climbers had perfected over hundreds of years. But it was the 5th planet that changed everything. "This is our death world," the Velari leader announced proudly. "No one has ever survived here for more than an hour." Hanul stepped out of the ship and looked around. The ground was shaking. The air was thick with smoke. Rivers of lava flowed nearby. She smiled. "It's like Hawaii during a volcano eruption. Humans study these places. We even live near them." For 24 hours, Hanul survived on the Death World. She found safe water underground, made shelter from local rocks, and even managed to sleep for a few hours. The aliens watched through cameras, unable to believe their eyes. When the final test ended, even the Velari leader was speechless. Back at the Galactic Council, Hanul stood before the leaders of 1,000 worlds. She was tired and had some burns and cuts, but she stood tall. "How?" the Velari leader asked. "How can you treat such deadly places as if they were nothing?" "They're not nothing," Hanul said. "Every place you sent me was dangerous. But Earth taught us that danger doesn't mean defeat. We learn, we adapt, we overcome." She pulled out pictures of Earth: hurricanes, volcanoes, deserts, and ice fields. "This is where we grew up. Every challenge you gave us, Earth gave us first. But Earth taught us something else too: how to respect these dangers, how to survive without destroying, how to be strong without being cruel." The council chamber was silent. Then one alien started to clap. Others joined. Soon the whole chamber was filled with the sound of different species showing respect in their own ways. That day, the Velari Dominion withdrew their challenge. They asked instead for humans to teach them about survival. Hanul looked at the aliens who had tried to kill her. "Of course we'll teach you. That's another thing Earth taught us. Share what you know. Help others survive." The Deathworlders had won not just through strength, but through wisdom. The galaxy would never doubt them again. Dr. Taiwan had never seen the Galactic Science Academy so excited. Hundreds of alien scientists crowded around screens showing Haynewell's performance in the Great Trials. They took notes and argued in many languages. "It doesn't make sense," said Dr. Pell, the Academy's head scientist. His three eyes blinked rapidly. No single species should have all these abilities. Taiwan adjusted the simple microscope he had brought from Earth. The aliens used more advanced tools, but he preferred what he knew worked. "Maybe we should look at this differently," he said. "Instead of asking why we can do these things, let's ask why you can't." He placed a sample of human blood under the microscope. Next to it, he put samples from 10 other species. "Look here," he pointed. "Our cells are different. They repair themselves faster. They adapt to change quickly." Dr. Pell leaned in close. "But why?" "Earth forced us to be this way," Taiwan explained. "Our world never let us rest. It kept changing, kept challenging us. Hot ages, ice ages, times when the air was different. We had to adapt or die." The alien scientists whispered among themselves. Their worlds had been stable for millions of years. Their species had never needed to change. "There's more," Taiwan continued. He showed them human bone scans. "Our gravity made our bones strong. Our changing weather made our bodies tough. Even the food we ate made us adaptable. We can digest things that would poison other species." A young alien scientist raised her hand. "But what about your brains? How did you develop intelligence in such harsh conditions?" Taiwan smiled. "The same conditions that made our bodies strong forced our brains to grow. We had to think to survive. We had to remember which plants were safe, which animals were dangerous, how to find water in deserts and shelter in storms." He pulled up images of early humans. Our ancestors weren't the strongest or fastest, but they could think, plan, and work together. That's how we survived. The Academy's main computer was processing all this information. Suddenly, it beeped. "Analysis complete," it announced. "Human genetic structure shows signs of continuous adaptation over millions of years. Rate of evolution is 50 times faster than galactic average." The room went quiet. 50 times faster. It seemed impossible. "That's why Haynewell could survive those trials," Taiwan explained. "Her body wasn't just strong. It was ready to adapt. Every human carries this ability. It's in our genes." Dr. Pell looked worried. "Does this mean humans will keep evolving? Keep getting stronger?" "Not exactly," Taiwan said. "We've learned to use our minds more than our bodies. We don't need to get stronger physically. Instead, we're learning to use what we have to help others." He showed them plans for new spacesuits designed by humans to help other species survive harsh conditions. "We're using our strength to protect, not dominate." The alien scientists crowded around the designs. They had always seen human strength as a threat. Now they saw it as a gift, one that humans wanted to share. Later that day, Taiwan sent his findings to Earth. "Our disadvantages weren't disadvantages at all," he wrote. "Earth's harsh conditions gave us exactly what we needed to explore space. We're not just surviving in the galaxy, we're helping others survive too." The message spread quickly. Across the galaxy, aliens began to see Earth differently. It wasn't just a death world that had somehow produced intelligent life. It was a training ground that had prepared humans for something greater. In the Academy's hall, Dr. Pell put up a new display. It showed Earth in all its dangerous beauty: storms, volcanoes, deserts, and seas. Under it, he wrote, "The planet that taught its children to survive anything, so they could help others survive everything." The Deathworlders had proved they were more than their strength. They were teachers, protectors, and adapters. The galaxy was starting to understand what that meant. Dr. Yoon, he ran through the crowded hospital halls. All around her, aliens were getting sick. The new disease was spreading fast, and nothing could stop it. 3 more species infected, a nurse reported. Their immune systems can't fight it. Yoon, he looked at the latest test results. The disease was simple by Earth standards, like a strong flu. But to aliens who had never faced such illnesses, it was deadly. "Why aren't humans getting sick?" asked Dr. Vell, her alien colleague. His scales had turned pale with worry. "Because Earth prepared us," Yoon-hee explained. She pulled up images of human blood cells. "Look, our immune system fights new threats all the time. Earth has millions of diseases. We learn to survive them." The hospital's warning lights flashed again. More sick aliens were coming in. Some species were already losing thousands. "Help me understand," Dr. Vell said. "How did your planet create such strong defenses?" Yoon-hee thought about the best way to explain it. "Earth is full of life. Tiny life forms we call bacteria and viruses. They're always changing, trying to survive. So we had to change too. Our bodies learned to fight new threats." She showed him Earth's history on her tablet. "We survived plagues that killed millions. Each time, those who lived passed on stronger immunity to their children. We got tougher." Suddenly, she had an idea. "What if we use human blood to make a cure?" she suggested. "Our antibodies might help other species fight this." Dr. Vell looked shocked. "Share your immunity with us? Is that possible?" "We can try. On Earth, we share medicines all the time. Different human populations have different immunities. We learn to help each other." They worked fast. Yoon-hee called Earth for help. Soon, thousands of humans were donating blood. Scientists worked day and night to make a cure that would work for alien biology. Some aliens were scared to take medicine made from human blood. They still thought of humans as dangerous Deathworlders. "Trust us," Yoon-hee told them. "Earth taught us how to survive disease. Now we can teach your bodies too." The first tests worked. Alien patients started to recover. Their bodies learned from human antibodies how to fight the disease. News spread across the galaxy. More planets asked for help. Earth sent ships full of medical supplies and human doctors. "I don't understand," said a recovering alien child. "Why are you helping us? Your planet made you strong. You could let us die." Yoon-hee sat next to the child's bed. "Earth taught us more than just how to be strong. It taught us that life is precious. Even tiny bacteria fight to survive. We learned to respect all life." She showed the child pictures of Earth's hospitals. "See, we help each other there. Rich help poor. Strong help weak. That's how we survived. By working together." The alien child looked at the pictures with new understanding. So Earth isn't just a death world. It's a teaching world too. "That's right," Yoon-hee smiled. "Every hard thing Earth threw at us taught us something. Now we can share those lessons." In the end, the disease was stopped. Millions of aliens were saved by human medicine. The galaxy learned that human strength wasn't just in muscles and bones. It was in blood and immunity too. The Galactic Council made a new medical research center. They built it on Earth, where other species could learn from humanity's long fight against disease. From now on, they announced, "We will not fear the Deathworlders. We will learn from them. Their planet made them strong, so they could help make us all stronger." Yoon-hee looked at the new research center with pride. Above its doors were words in many languages, all saying the same thing. Earth's children, teaching the galaxy to survive. The Deathworlders had shown once again that their greatest strength was not in destroying, but in healing. Do-hyun wiped sweat from his forehead as he looked at the broken alien ship. The advanced vessel lay dead in space. Its fancy systems all failed. Around him, alien engineers argued about complex solutions. "Let me try something simple," he said. The alien engineers stopped talking. They watched as Do-hyun pulled out basic tools from Earth, a wrench, some wire, and metal patches. "But those are primitive tools," one alien said. "Our ship needs advanced quantum repairs." Do-hyun smiled. "Sometimes simple is better. Earth taught us that technology can fail. We learned to fix things the hard way." He floated to the ship's engine. While the aliens used complex machines for everything, humans still learned to work with their hands. Earth's harsh conditions had taught them that simple solutions often worked best. "See this?" He pointed to a crack in the engine. "Your advanced materials couldn't handle the stress, but Earth metals." He pulled out a special steel patch. "We made these to survive volcanoes." The aliens watched in surprise as Do-hyun fixed their ship with basic tools. He used Earth-made materials that could handle extreme heat and pressure. Within hours, the engine was running again. "How?" asked the alien chief engineer. "Our best quantum tools couldn't fix it. Earth forced us to think differently," Do-hyun explained. He showed them pictures of old Earth machines. "Look, when storms hit, when things break, we can't always use fancy solutions. We learned to fix things with whatever we had." More broken ships arrived at the repair station. Each one had failed because its advanced technology couldn't handle harsh space conditions. Each time, Do-hyun and his human team fixed them with simple, strong solutions from Earth. "Your quantum computers are amazing," he told the aliens, "but they break easily. Earth taught us to make things that last." Word spread through the galaxy. Ships started carrying Earth-made backup systems. Aliens began learning human engineering methods. They realized that advanced didn't always mean better. One day, a huge alien ship captain came to Do-hyun. "Our ship uses the most advanced AI in the galaxy," he said proudly, "but it keeps failing in radiation storms." Do-hyun looked at the ship's systems. "You rely too much on AI," he said. "What happens when it fails? Earth taught us to always have manual backups." He showed them how to install simple control systems made on Earth. "See, even if everything else fails, you can still fly the ship. Sometimes, the old ways are the best ways." The alien engineers started taking notes. They had always thought Earth was behind in technology. Now they saw that humans had developed different kinds of advances, ones that focused on survival and reliability. At the Galactic Engineering Academy, Do-hyun gave a speech. "Earth's harsh conditions taught us to build things that last," he said. "We learned that simple can be strong, that backup systems save lives, that the ability to fix things yourself matters more than having the fanciest technology." The Academy created a new course, Earth Engineering Principles. Aliens learned how humans built things to survive anything. They learned why Earth ships carry basic tools alongside quantum computers. "The Deathworlders aren't primitive," the Academy's head announced. "They're practical. Their planet taught them lessons we never learned because we never had to." Do-hyun's repair station became famous across the galaxy. Ships would come just to have Earth-made backup systems installed. Aliens started calling human engineering methods survival tech. Earth's gravity crushed weak materials. Do-hyun explained to his students. Its storms destroyed fragile machines. Its radiation fried sensitive electronics. Everything we built had to be tough. Now we can share these lessons with the galaxy. Above his repair station, Do-hyun hung a sign in simple words, "Earth Solutions," because simple is strong. The Deathworlders had shown that true advancement wasn't just about having the newest technology. It was about having technology you could trust to survive anything. Commander Min-seo stood on Earth's defense station as red lights flashed everywhere. The Velari battle fleet had appeared without warning. 50 huge ships pointed their weapons at Earth. "Leave your world or die," the Velari leader's message boomed. Deathworlders don't deserve to be part of the galaxy. Min-seo looked at her crew. Humans had hoped for peace, but Earth had taught them to always be ready for a fight. "They think we're weak because we've been kind," she said to her team. They forgot why Earth's children survived for millions of years. The Velari ships fired their first shots. They expected Earth's defenses to break easily. Instead, their energy beams hit shields made to withstand meteor storms and solar flares. "Earth taught us to build strong defenses," Min-seo said it as she gave orders. "Send out the patrol ships. Show them how humans fight." The human ships were smaller than the Velari vessels, but like Earth's ancient predators, they were fast and clever. They dodged enemy fire like eagles avoiding lightning. They struck hard like wolves hunting in packs. Impossible, the Velari commander shouted. Your ships are moving in ways our computers said they couldn't. Earth gravity is stronger than your calculations, Min-Seo replied calmly. Our pilots grew up in it. Space feels easy to them. The Velari tried to land troops on Earth. Their soldiers wore powered armor and carried advanced weapons. But they weren't ready for Earth's conditions. Their armor is failing, a human soldier reported. Earth's gravity is crushing it. The humidity is shorting out their weapons. Min-Seo nodded. Our world is defending itself, just like it always has. Send in the ground teams. Human soldiers moved easily in Earth's gravity. They wore simple, tough armor designed to work even if systems failed. Their weapons were basic but reliable. Earth had taught them to trust in strength and skill more than fancy technology. The Velari soldiers couldn't believe what they saw. Humans ran in gravity that crushed their power armor. They fought in weather that destroyed their equipment. They kept going when any other species would have fallen. How? The Velari commander demanded. How are you beating our advanced army? Because Earth trained us for this, Min-Seo answered. Every day on our world is training for survival. We don't need powered armor. Our bodies are strong enough. We don't need advanced weapons. Simple ones work better in harsh conditions. The battle lasted 3 days. The Velari lost ship after ship, not to superior weapons, but to human pilots who flew better in space than their computers said was possible. Their ground forces retreated, beaten not by better technology, but by soldiers who could fight in conditions that broke their equipment. When it was over, Min-Seo sent a message to the remaining Velari ships. Earth's children don't want to fight. We'd rather help others survive. But if you force us to defend ourselves, remember, we learned from the harshest teacher in the galaxy. The Velari fleet retreated. Word spread quickly through the galaxy. The Deathworlders had won not through superior weapons, but through the strength and skill their world had given them. In the Galactic Council, other species watched recordings of the battle with amazement. They saw humans fighting in conditions that would kill most species. They saw Earth itself helping to defeat the invasion, its harsh environment breaking enemy equipment. Now you understand, Min-Seo told the Council. We're not strong because we want to be. We're strong because Earth made us strong. We'd rather use that strength to help, not hurt. But we will defend ourselves if we must. The Council passed new laws that day, making it illegal to attack Earth. Not because they feared humans, but because they finally understood. The Deathworlders had learned their strength from the greatest teacher of all, survival itself. Above Earth's defense station, Min-Seo added a new message. Protected by Earth's children. Strong enough to fight. Wise enough to choose peace. Jinwu stood before the Galactic Council, his simple Earth suit standing out among the fancy alien clothes. Today would change everything. After 10 years of proving themselves, humans were about to take their place as leaders in the galaxy. We nominate Jinwu of Earth for Council President. The announcement rang out. The vote will now begin. The council chamber was quiet. Just a year ago, no one would have thought a Deathworlder could lead the galaxy. But things had changed. Jinwu thought about the path that had led here. Captain Songmin's first contact. Ambassador Jiho saving aliens in the embassy. Hainul proving human strength in the trials. Dr. Tawan showing why humans were different. Dr. Yun, he using human immunity to save millions. Du Hyun, teaching the value of simple technology. Commander Min-Seo defending Earth with skill instead of just weapons. Each one had shown a different side of human strength. Each one had proved that Earth's harsh lessons could help everyone. The voting lights flashed green. Jinwu had won. He was the first human to leave the Galactic Council. Thank you, he said simply. Earth taught us many hard lessons. Now we want to share them with everyone. His first act was to create new training centers on Earth. Aliens came to learn how to survive in harsh conditions. Human teachers showed them how to be strong without fancy technology, how to think quickly when things went wrong, how to work together to overcome challenges. "Your gravity is crushing," an alien student complained during training. Jin Woo smiled. "Yes, but every day you spend here makes you stronger. That's what Earth does. It challenges you until you improve." The galaxy started to change. Ships now carried both advanced computers and simple backup systems. Soldiers learned both high-tech fighting and basic survival skills. Scientists studied both quantum physics and Earth's simple but effective solutions. Earth is no longer just a death world, Jin Woo announced to the council. It's the galaxy's greatest school. More species started visiting Earth. They came to study its dangerous places, to learn why these conditions had made humans so adaptable. Earth's mountains taught them about thin air. Its oceans taught them about pressure. Its deserts taught them about survival. One day, a young alien asked Jin Woo a question. "Aren't you angry that your world was so harsh, that you had to become strong just to survive?" Jin Woo looked out at Earth through the station's window. He saw its storms and volcanoes, its deserts and ice fields. But he also saw its beauty, the things that had made humans want to protect and preserve life. "No," he answered, "Earth's harshness gave us gifts. The strength to protect others, the wisdom to solve problems simply, the understanding that life is precious because it's hard to keep." Under Jin Woo's leadership, the galaxy entered a new age. The term Deathworlder changed from an insult to a mark of respect. Earth became known not as a dangerous planet to avoid, but as a place to learn and grow stronger. "We build our training centers in Earth's harshest places," Jin Woo explained to new students, "because that's where you learn the most important lessons. That's where you discover how strong you really are." The final change came when the Galactic Council moved its headquarters to Earth. They built it to handle Earth's conditions, mixing advanced technology with simple backup systems. It stood as a symbol of how the galaxy had learned to combine the best of both worlds. Jin Woo added one last sign to the council building. It used simple words to tell a powerful truth. "Welcome to Earth, where the galaxy learns to be strong." The Deathworlders had changed everything, not through force or fear, but through teaching others how to find their own strength. Earth's children had become the galaxy's teachers, and their hardest lessons had become their greatest gifts.